How are you doing, boys?
The need for teamwork and for leadership is greater than it's ever been.
I can make it online, a reservation.
We went and looked for a speaker who we thought could really help you understand that, and also.
Okay, so what would you like me to do? How can I help?
So what do you want to do now?
Take some water outside, I'm thirsty.
And for us, that's this literary keynote. It's Mike Massimino. He's a former NASA astronaut. He's a professor of mechanical engineering at Columbia University, and he's also the senior advisor for space programs at the Intrepid Sea, Air, and Space Museum. Mike has made numerous television appearances, as well as movie cameos. He's had a recurring role in The Big Bang Theory, the CBS sitcom. He's been featured on National Geographic television's One Strange Rock, and
You bring some water?
Warren Stories.
You can leave the smooches here.
The Today Show, Good Morning America, and The Daily Show. I've been seeing him a lot over the last couple of weeks as the news has covered the astronauts that went to the space station. He's provided some really great insights about what those folks are experiencing and what is being done to try to bring that situation to a successful conclusion. Mike's written a book, multiple books, Spaceman and Astronaut's Unlikely Journey to Unlock the Secrets of the Universe. That's a New York Times bestseller. He has a new book, Moonshot, a NASA astronaut's guide to achieving the impossible, where he's got stories and insights NASA distilled into an actionable guide that can help you. And that's, I think, another thing that you're going to see when it comes out here in a minute is that he's just great at sort of helping you see how you can apply some of these lessons to your everyday work and life. He's worked as an engineer at IBM, NASA, McDonnell Douglas, and had multiple academic appointments before joining NASA, and it's a tremendous story of how he came to be an astronaut at NASA, and you'll hear all about that now. He's got his BS degree from Columbia University and MS in mechanical engineering and technology and policy, and also a PhD in mechanical engineering from MIT. So with that, we're going to see a little video first that will kind of show you some of Mike's highlights, and then Mike will come out and deliver our luminary keynote. So check this video out, and then we'll hear from Mike.
A spacewalker on the final two Hubble Space Telescope servicing missions, Mike Massimino and his crews traveled faster and higher than any other astronauts in the 21st century, all while increasing the discovery capabilities of arguably the greatest scientific instrument ever built by a factor of 100. During the final Hubble servicing mission, Mike was faced with both success and life-threatening challenges as he performed the most intricate repair ever attempted in space.
Hey, Mike. Yeah?
He has made numerous television appearances, including a recurring role as himself on the hit CBS sitcom, The Big Bang Theory.
The guys here call me Max.
Has been a frequent guest on late-night television broadcasts, has hosted educational television programs, and has provided expert commentary on many morning shows and network and cable news programs. He is currently featured in the National Geographic Channel series, One Strange Rock, and is the host for Science Channel series, The Planets and Beyond. He was also featured with his crew in the IMAX film Hubble 3D, and has been called the real-life astronaut who inspired George Clooney's role in the film Gravity. Please welcome Mike Massimino.
Hello. Thank you very much. My pleasure to be here.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about my path to becoming an astronaut, which was a lot about persistence and not giving up. Some of the lessons I learned as an astronaut, the way we did business, leadership, teamwork, supported each other. I'll try to leave you with some things that hopefully will be helpful. And I want to tell you just how cool it is to fly space. Really an extraordinary experience. So I'll start with the beginning for me. This is not me, by the way. This happened when I was just a little kid. I saw the first moon landing, watching on the TV set in Franklin Square, Long Island, and it made me want to grow up to be an astronaut. I wanted to grow up just like Neil Armstrong. And here's my proof. This is me dressed up like Neil Armstrong in my astronaut costume that my mother made for me. The reason that it's a gray costume is that it's a converted elephant costume from the first grade play. And I'm there, I'm holding my astronaut Snoopy. So Snoopy and I had these backyard adventures pretending that we were in space. That's what I wanted to be when I was a little boy. But I was 6 years old when this photo was taken. But by the time I was about 8 years old, I realized I was going to grow up to be like Neil Armstrong. It was about that time when I realized I was afraid of heights. And I realized that I couldn't imagine a world in which an astronaut would be afraid of heights. And it is problematic I still don't like heights, and it is problematic for an astronaut to be afraid of heights. But I just, how do you make that happen? How do you grow up to be a superhero like Neil Armstrong? So I kind of crossed it off the list of possibilities. But when I was graduating college, my senior year, a movie came out called The Right Stuff. Maybe some of you have seen it. It's based on a book by Tom Wolfe about the original astronauts and the test pilots that came before them. And it rekindled I don't know if it rekindled my interest, but it made me aware again of how much I was impressed with as a young boy with the space program. And that passion never left me. I always was interested. I just thought I could never be a part of it. But I was getting out of college, and I started thinking about maybe I could contribute some way to the space program. I was getting an engineering degree. I never thought I could become an astronaut. I still thought that was a little far-fetched. But at least I could help other people go. I worked for IBM for a couple of years after college, and then I went to MIT for grad school to try to pursue at least a career in the space program with the idea that I would apply to be an astronaut and see if that would work out, but certainly want to be a part of the space program. Well, after I was at MIT for a few years, I got the minimum requirements to be an astronaut. I was still in school when NASA announced they were looking for astronauts. So I go, all right, here's my chance. I sent in my astronaut application. And about 9 months later, I received a letter from NASA, and the letter said no. There were other words on the page, but no would have gotten the point across. I stayed in school. I said, I'll try again. Stayed in school. Was about to get my PhD, and then NASA said they were looking for astronauts again. And I said, this is perfect. I thought to myself, I can graduate, go right to NASA. So I sent in my second application. About 9 months later, I got a letter from NASA. This was a different letter than the first one I got. They changed the date at the top of the letter. Other than that, it was the same letter I had gotten a couple years earlier. But you know what? I didn't want to give up. I was able to get a job as a research engineer at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. A couple years go by, I applied again. This time I didn't get a letter, I got a phone call. They wanted me to come in for an interview, so now I was a finalist. The interview lasts a whole week. It's written exams, it's interviews with the selection board, there's social events, there's a lot of medical tests. They get to know you very, very well. And in the course of this week, they got to know me very well. And with that information, they rejected me. So I was open. Not only was I rejected, I was medically disqualified. These rules have changed now, but back then you had to be able to read the eye chart pretty well about the the contacts, and I couldn't do that, and they disqualified me. And when I was medically disqualified, they said I couldn't even really apply again. They would not read my application since I was unfit to be an astronaut. And so this was pretty bad. So I wanted to at least be able to try. And I started looking into things and found about something called vision training, where you can train your eyes to see better. It's kind of like training your brain as well to focus differently with your eyes. And I went through this training. I was able to pick up a couple lines on the eye chart just so I could re-qualify medically. No guarantee that it'd even look at me again, but at least I could submit another application. And I did that, was able to get another interview, came in for that interview, it all went well, I passed the eye exam, and I was selected to be in the astronaut class in 1996. So I am the second row from the top, the third guy from the left. You know, the moral of all that story is that you can't always control the outcome of things, but you certainly can control your effort. And my goal was to just keep trying, and I wanted a way to keep trying. I could understand they might never select me. They had other people they wanted, but I wanted to at least be able to be considered. And if you do that, I think sometimes good things happen. When we arrived there, we came from many different backgrounds. A lot of military people, a lot of civilians like me, people with advanced degrees, lots of different backgrounds, 8 different countries represented. But all of us had one goal, and that was to support the space program and support the mission. And because of that, it gave us a sense of teamwork that I never experienced before. If you needed help with something, your classmates, your instructors were there to help you. We really helped each other as a class. Not everyone was good at everything, but if you need help, your job was to say you needed help. If you give help, your job was to give help to others. But speaking up that you needed help was a little bit different, right? It's easy sometimes to help other people. You know, I'm good at this and I want to help you. But if you're struggling with something, I think most of us don't always want to admit that. But it was really important for us to do that because you could be holding back the team if you were having trouble with something. And that could be something we were learning or being trained on as part of our job. It could be a problem at home. Whatever that is, you were encouraged to bring that forward so you could get help and the mission could continue, and that was never held against you. One thing that leadership did is they never held that against you if you spoke up that you needed help. If you made a mistake, your job was to report it so other people wouldn't make that same mistake, and there was never retribution for that. The only way you get yourself in trouble is if you made a mistake and tried to hide it. That was a problem. But other than that, as long as you spoke up and came clean if something happened or if you needed help, that was totally understood and totally acceptable. Okay, when it came time to send me to space, I went to this object in the sky, the Hubble Space Telescope, magnificent instrument. It's shown us the beauty of the universe and made some great discoveries, including the discovery of dark energy, which led to the awarding of a Nobel Prize. It was designed to be serviced by astronauts. So just about everything on that telescope could be taken off, the doors could be opened, where we could go in and remove the science instruments or the gyroscopes or whatever it might be, with latches and bolts that would be undone and put a new instrument in. There were 5 missions to service the Hubble Space Telescope. I was on the final 2 of those missions. My job was primarily to be a spacewalker. That's us training in the Neutral Buoyancy Laboratory in Houston, Texas, down at Johnson Space Center. That's me on the left. The guy on the robot arm is Mike Good. He's my spacewalking buddy. Mike Good, his nickname was Bueno, because his last name was Good. We're very creative at NASA. So Bueno's on the robot arm, and I'm moving around with my hands, and we're going to open up the doors of the telescope. And that day we were going to practice the change out of the gyroscopes on the telescope. Now, the name of this facility was the Neutral Buoyancy Laboratory. It is a very large pool. It's 100 feet wide, 200 feet long, and 40 feet deep. It's the largest pool in the world, but we called it a laboratory because it was a place to come up with new ideas and experiment with things. Our goal going into each one of these runs we had is that we wanted to be able to do things more efficiently, safer, and more quickly, save time. You could save even 1 minute of spacewalking time